I'm Janet Smith. As Adam mentioned this morning, I'm the librarian, but I'm here to show you how you have access to this small building full of people and knowledge without having to come here. So I'm really going to be talking mostly about the AIC website. This is the afternoon sleepy time shift, so I'm sorry about that. And in a shameless attempt to convince you that my presentation is going to be interesting and worth staying awake for, there are rewards throughout. So, now just by way of example, between you probably have 500 plus staff in your university libraries whose only purpose is to help you. We have at the moment 3 people in our library, and our purpose, we hope, is not to help you write your assignments. However, we do have a lot of material and services that are of interest to you, and we've had to find ways of making them available without you needing to contact us or us to contact you. Now, very much the same holds for the Institute as a whole. By now you should have picked up the idea that although we do splendid and huge quantities of work, it's a very small organisation. We don't really have the resources to deal with each and every person who wants some information from us. So, we've got these treasures. How can we contribute to you? Fortunately, and this is the end of my PowerPoint, we do it through our website. When you come to our website, you'll find that there are 3 main sections. The first is the latest news, and I'm pleased to say that this has changed since yesterday. Normally, the latest news announces new publications that we've released. However, we do also put up interesting pieces of news, like the fact that Kelly, who I think spoke to you this morning, has recently been awarded a Churchill Fellowship. So we're very proud of that, and we think it's worth talking about. The other thing that's on here is the ISOC student competition. Now, has anybody entered the ISOC student competition? Good. The second section of the homepage is about events that we have coming up or that we've only recently held. So it's going to be everything from our quite large conferences, national or international, to our occasional seminars that we hold at the Institute that are held here, so we know that there's a fairly limited number of people who can come to them. But we put as much information from these as we can on the website so that they're available for everyone to see. And I'll come back to that a bit later. The other things to notice are that there's this yellow line across the top that stays the same wherever you are on the website, and down the side we've got particular little highlight boxes that try to direct you to something, generally once you're further into the website, that's interesting about that section of the site. Wherever you are on the website, with one exception, to get back to the home page you can just click on that and start again. Most people come to the website to see our publications. You might come there directly from a link from something else, but as you may have picked up by now, and as you certainly will have seen along the side, we have a range of publications that we produce, from 2-page fact sheets to terribly earnest reports that tell you quite a lot more about a topic than you ever thought you really wanted to know. The most recent ones are listed here, but you can also search for our publications by subject, and that's a really good way to really narrow down to the ones that are going to be of interest to you. You can look at the different series, and I'll tell you about those in a moment, and you can check whether you want the shorter fact sheet short papers or the longer papers. Probably our most popular series is the one called Trends and Issues in Criminal Justice. They're 6-page reports that are either summaries of larger research reports or take a particular aspect in some research we've been doing and give you some information about that. 6 pages is a terrific length. They are now published only online. Australian Crime Facts and Figures is a compendium of statistics that we take from all around Australia and publish each year. Everything from the ABS series that you probably know to material from our own monitoring reports, the Crime Commission, anywhere we can find statistics, we'll take them and put them in here. Our most earnest or serious research reports are the Research and Public Policy series. As I mentioned, they're the longer reports that really go into quite a lot of depth about a research project. And our monitoring reports, this is a fairly new series that comes from each of our monitoring programs that Adam spoke about this morning and that I think you've had a couple of presentations on already. There are others, but these are the main ones, and they're all available online on the website. Can somebody name one of the monitoring programs?
The National Homicide.
Quite close. Another doorway to hidden treasures on our website is this innocently named events. As I mentioned, we have conferences and we have occasional seminars. On this page, you don't really get much of a sense of the depth of what's available to you through this. We've got the ones that are coming up, but we've also got our previous events, and we try to get from... We hold sometimes quite a lot of conferences in a year. We try to get all the papers from those conferences or the PowerPoints and have them up here on the website for you to see. So, and even more these days. So if we come back to this one, you'll see what the conference was about. Every one of those that's linked has at least a PowerPoint. If we're lucky, it'll have a PDF of a paper. If you're extremely lucky, you've also got the audio. And in the case of this one, we also published the keynote papers as one of the research and public policy papers. So although you might not be able to get to the conference, you can certainly use the material afterwards. The other thing I'd like to show you about the events page is we list our seminars that are coming up and that we've held. We also list forthcoming Australian events, conferences mostly, not seminars and so on. So if you really need to go to the Gold Coast in September, this is the place to find what you need. When you look at our conference papers from earlier conferences, and we have been holding them sort of for a very long time, it's only fairly recently that we have been putting up PowerPoints because that's all presenters give us. Probably from 5 years back to when we first started putting papers online, it's the real papers that people delivered, and they're an invaluable resource for people who are looking for very detailed work about what people are doing in their organisations in particular.